Today I'm going to be doing a review on the CE3 510 XL Smokymizers, which I received from www.ivapor-elixir.co.uk. Before I start though, I must point out I did receive them free of charge for the purpose of conducting a review. My opinion and product remain true, honest and accurate as always. Okay, so let's go straight ahead and show you them in a bit more detail and show you how to fill them up. Okay, so the CE3 Smokymizers come in a box which includes all these parts here. And in that box you get 5 of the Smokymizers, you get a pair of tweezers, a metal filling needle and a Delrin mouthpiece. Now, as far as I'm aware, like when you buy these, like I said, no, they are. I don't think they're sold separately. You do have to buy them in like a pack of 5, and they do come in all these different colours, which is a clear, a black, a blue, a green, and a purple. I couldn't see any option for being able to sort of choose 5 of the same colour, but maybe I missed that on the website, or maybe that's something they're going to do in the future. So if you do get it, then basically you're going to be getting all the colours of the rainbow. They're also available in either 2.4 ohms or 2.8 ohms, and these particular ones are the 2.4 ohms. Okay, so I've been using the coloured ones here, with the black, the blue, the green and the purple, for about the last week and a half now, but I've saved the clear one. I've not used that at all yet, just because I thought that'd be the better one to sort of show you in the actual review, because it's going to sort of show up a lot better on the camera. Okay, so what I'll do now is I'll just go ahead and show you one of these in a bit more detail and show you how to fill them up. Right, so the CE3 Smokymizers, they come with a 510 fitting. On the box I do notice it says or a 808D fitting, so I'm not too sure whether the actual iVapor Elixir sell both ones, but they obviously are available. But nevertheless, these ones are the 510 versions. And it's basically like a tank which can hold around 1.5 millilitres of e-liquid. And unlike the other sort of clearer misers, the actual heating coil is down the bottom here. So in theory, there should be sort of less wicking problems, because obviously, you know, gravity is going to make sure that there's always going to be juice around that heating coil. And you can see inside there, well, hopefully, that there's a small wick there, which obviously soaks up the e-liquid and obviously transfers that to the heating coil. And then when that heating coil obviously gets activated, produces all the vapor. Okay, so in the top here you have like a little sort of rubber cap. Like I say, it does come with a Delrin mouthpiece, but you don't have to use that. And I've been using it with just the rubber bung that comes here, and I've not had any sort of problems with juice coming into my mouth or anything like that. Though the Delrin mouthpiece is slightly nicer to actually use. Okay, so I'm gonna just remove this rubber bung here with my trusty fork. And then inside you can see that you've got like a little sort of black rubber bung there, and that is basically sealing the filling hole. So you need to get the old tweezers and just pull that out, and then hopefully you can see that there's that little hole there at the bottom. Now for me personally, I've got good eyesight, so I'm not having any sort of problems taking that little rubber bung out and putting it back in. But for somebody who hasn't got the best eyesight, I can see sort of people struggling with it a little bit. But like for me personally, I'm not experiencing sort of too much hassle with it. But like I said, if you haven't got the best eyesight, then it might be a slightly different story. Okay, so then you need to get your e-liquid, and you are going to need a syringe, which are sold separately. So don't get a syringe in the kit. You do get one of these filling needles, but not the actual syringe. And here's one I've made earlier. And I've already filled up my syringe with 1.5 ml of a menthol flavoured e-liquid. So you just got to put the syringe through the filling hole, and then basically just carefully fill it up. And hopefully you'll be able to see that the e-liquid's going in there. And it's pretty much, I'm not going to add any more actually, but you can see there's only a little tiny dribble left in the syringe there, so it's pretty much sort of 1.5 ml on the dot. And then you have to get your little rubber bung thing. Now I've just been saying that I've not had any problems getting this back in, but I probably will cock it up now. But let's have a go. And well, it's all right. Like I said, for me, and it's also easier because on this one, obviously you've got a little black bung against a white background, so it does make it a lot easier to see. So it could be fiddly for other people, And then you can either sort of put obviously the little sort of rubber cap back in there if you wanted to, or you can attach the Delving mouthpiece, which I will do, and then that just goes on there, and then that's it. That's your C-E3 Smokymizer all filled up, and just got to then add it onto a device of your choice, anything that's got a 510 connection, and then you can start vaping. It's a bit wonky actually, but yeah, it is wonky. I don't know, maybe it's my eye, so it looks like it's quite wonky there. Anyway, as you can hear, that's already in firing up, so let's go and have a vape and see what it vapes like. Okay, so that is the C-E3 510 Smokymizers. So what I'll do now is I will go ahead and show you them in action. So I'm going to be using my cube. I'm just using it with a 18650 3.7 volt battery, and I've filled up the Smokymyzer with some 18 milligram strength PG menthol flavoured e-liquid. And for me personally, I think they produce a really good amount of vapour. Now, I will say that some people are experiencing, well, some of my friends who have got these, who only use VG liquids, they are experiencing some sort of wicking problems. Which I was quite surprised about, because I thought even if it is a VG liquid, because you've got the heating coil down the bottom now, then you shouldn't sort of get any problems. But they're still getting the odd sort of wicking problem if you're using just like 100% VG liquid. Now I tend to use sort of mainly PG liquids, and I've not had any wicking problems at all. So if you like your PG liquids, then you should be, absolutely fine with them. You shouldn't have any issues at all. But if you like a thick VG liquid or vegetable glycerin, then you might sort of get some sort of slight issues there. You might need to sort of water it down a little bit. But for me, with a PG liquid, no wicking problems at all. Just plenty of nice vapour. And bear in mind this is just on the, a standard voltage as well. So for me personally, I think the vape was quite impressive, really. Throw hit again, like for me personally, I'm getting a really nice strong throw hit out of it. Now I like to vape a 18 milligram strength, which isn't particularly high, but not particularly low either, right there in the middle. And I find personally that the higher the nicotine content of the e-liquid, like the stronger or the harsher the throat hit is. But using the Smokymyzer with an 18 milligram strength, give me that really nice sort of solid thump in the back of my throat. And obviously, if you've got a device that can, increase the voltage or increase the wattage, then and also if you like vaping at 6 volts, etc., then obviously you're going to get probably a far greater strength of throat hit as well. Obviously, I'm not too sure about what sort of voltage you can sort of take it up to. The most I've done is up to about sort of 4.5, and I found that was sort of gave quite a nice vape. But like I said, no, this is just on a standard sort of voltage. I'm getting that really nice strong throat hit anyway. And the other obviously important thing about these is the flavour. Now for me personally, I think the flavour is fantastic. I've not got any sort of problems at all. Like, I do only tend to sort of vape quite strong sort of tobacco flavours or quite strong menthol flavours. And like I said, I've got a menthol flavour in here which is quite strong. But the flavour for me is spot on. I'm not getting any sort of flavour problems whatsoever. Now, if you like vaping quite dainty, fruity flavours, then I'm not too sure if whether it's going to affect the flavour or not, because I just don't vape those sort of flavours. So it might be worth sort of checking out a few of the other reviews as well. But for me personally, with the menthol flavours I like to vape, and with the tobacco flavours I like to vape, flavour hits the spot every time. you know, for me personally, these are a massive winner over the Clearomizers. Clearomizers, you know, they produce good vapour, they produce brilliant flavour, throw hit, etc., etc. But you do have to sort of had that slight issue with the like the wicking side of things, even with like just a plain old sort of PG liquid, which is what I would always use. And I do find, you know, I have to sort of keep on sort of turning it upside down to get it a wick properly. Whereas this, I'm getting pretty much the same sort of performance, apart from I've not got those wicking problems. So for me, no, these are working really nicely. Not a great deal else I can really sort of tell you about them, you know. So, well, I suppose I could sort of say about the filling, which I think I did already cover in the close-up shots, but only sort of slight negative. Not necessarily for me, but maybe for other people. If you're elderly, you've got sort of, you know, quite bad eyesight, or, you know, you've got problems with your fingers, sort of thing. You might struggle to fill them up because you have got that tiny little sort of black rubber band, and you've got to try and get the needle through that tiny little hole. And I can see, you know, some people sort of struggling with that a little bit. For me personally, I've been quite lucky. I've got good eyesight and relatively sort of steady hands, you know, so I'm not having any sort of major hassles when it comes to refilling. But, you know, if you are a person who you know, you've got sort of quite poor eyesight, or if you're elderly, etc., etc., then obviously you might experience some issues with it. But that's probably the only sort of negative I've got to say about them, really. Not had any sort of leaks or anything like that. Oh, one other thing is, every now and again, as you're during the course of vaping, I've not had any leaks as such, but every now and again you can hear a little bit of a gurgling noise. And what happens is, right at the top here, you do tend to get a little bit of sort of fluid start to appear. And obviously, if you let it build up too much, then you are going to get a sort of a mouthful of juice. Now it's not, I can see, well, I don't think it's coming up for the actual filling hole, but it's coming up for that other sort of hole in the middle there. So, you know, probably about maybe out of the whole sort of tank's worth, I'm probably at once, sometimes twice, I'm just having to sort of take the drip tip out, put a bit of not cotton wool, tissue paper down there just to sort of soak up the excess juice, put that back on, and I'm good to go. So that's just another thing you might want to sort of keep your eye on. But apart from that though, you know, like vapour wise, flavour wise, throw hit, perfect, can't really knock it at all. So if you fancy trying these out for yourself, go along to www.ivapor-elixir.co.uk. Thank you very much for watching, and also come along and visit my website at www.e-cig-reviews.com. That's e-cig-reviews.com. Cheers guys, happy vaping, see you later.